So Fit Hidden Figure covers nutrition, which we're going to talk a lot about. We cover strength training, cardio. We look into water, sleep, supplements. We cover DEXA scans. And just to give you an understanding of what we mean by a DEXA scan, I'm going to share my personal DEXA scan with you. You're going to see a lot of numbers. Again, that's why we're Fit Hidden Figure. It's based on mathematics. And here you can see there is a lot of numbers pretty much explaining your whole body analysis, how much of your body is fat, how much is muscle, how much is bone, and where are all of these located. So here, for example, on an DEXA scan, you'll see a name called Android. Android stands for your abs. And in this case, my abs has 0.3 pounds of fat and my abs has 6 pounds of muscle. The body fat in my abs is 4.9%. You can also see the body fat in my arms, the body fat in my legs, and that kind of a thing. So it's very, very detailed. One of the things I like to point out is that the DEXA scan also covers a reading called visceral fat. It's called visceral adipose tissue here on the report. If you notice, my visceral fat is 0 pounds. The reason I'm highlighting this is, have you ever met someone that all of a sudden had a heart attack or a stroke and, out of nowhere, it happens suddenly? Chances are their visceral fat was very high. So what we like to do is work with clients to get their visceral fat under 1 pound, because under 1 pound, you're no longer at risk. But at Fit Hidden Figure, we like to help folks get their visceral fat all the way to 0. The visceral fat is a reading that covers the amount of fat deposits in your internal organs. So things like clogged arteries, things linked to cholesterol readings and things like that. So as your visceral fat reduces, you'll notice that your cholesterol will improve. Okay. Now, if you see, look at the DEXA scan here, can you see the image here with a lot of red on it? There, red is fat, blue is muscle, and white is bone. So if you look at the two images, just compare, you see one image has a whole lot less red in it. That is fat loss. And if you take an even closer look at the blue in the image. You see how thin it is on one side versus the thickness in the other side? That is lean muscle. And with this whole idea of losing body fat and simultaneously putting on muscle is called body recomposition. The beautiful thing about the DEXA scan is that you not just see an image on the DEXA scan on the fat loss and the muscle gain, but you also see a numerical value on what is transpiring. So in this case, the difference in the image is the 21.9 pounds loss in fat and 23.8 pounds gain in muscle. And this is particularly very inspiring to clients because we help clients, go get their DEXA scan every 2 to 3 weeks, right? And you're on the program, and after 2 weeks, a woman, for example, typically lose about 4 pounds of fat and gain about half a pound to a pound of muscle every 2 to 3 weeks. And why this is important is that we do not have to convince you that you are getting results. The DEXA scan actually produces that for you. And just imagine after being on a regimen for 6 months, losing on average 4 pounds of fat every 2 to 3 weeks. Just imagine the level of change that can happen in 6 months. And that is one of our cornerstones to our success, is that we're always keeping an eye on the metrics, right? What you measure, you treasure. So if you are looking for fat loss, you should find ways to measure fat loss as opposed to just looking at the scale. So say, for example, with this body transformation here, and I'm going to show you what this body transformation actually looks like in person. So in this case, the difference is just a 1.8 pound difference, right? Whereas the overall transformation is a loss of 21.9 pounds of fat and the gain of 23.8 pounds of muscle. So can you imagine how frustrating it would be if you were, depending on the scale throughout your transformation, right? A 1.8 pound difference would not be particularly encouraging. So that is why the DEXA scan is very important. The DEXA scan goes into lean mass on your right versus left. And as you can see here, I keep a balanced physique. So my right arm's the same size as my left arm. My right leg's the same size as my left leg here. And then the DEXA scan goes into the body fat in your arms, legs, trunks, abs, hips, and that kind of a thing. The DEXA scan also covers bone density. So you can see even in my transformation, I had suboptimal bone density. And after strength training and going through my regimen, I was able to increase and improve my bone density. The other aspect of the DEXA scan is that it will tell you. So in my case here, see, I'm weighing 127.5 pounds here. It will show you 12.8 pounds is fat, 108 pounds is muscle, and 5.8 pounds of bone, right? If you notice, it gives a reading of 114.7 pounds of fat-free mass. That number dictates how much protein you should have in a given day. So when someone gets their DEXA scan, I look for that fat-free mass, and I take that data to then determine how much protein is needed on a daily basis. Once I determine how much protein is needed on a daily basis, I create a customized meal plan, meal number 1, meal number 2, meal number 3, and so forth, and incorporate the protein that is needed to optimally grow your lean mass while losing body fat.